So for the first few minutes, why doesn't everyone show their video so that we can see who you are and try and get used to who people are? Oh, Diego, hi.
Input. All right, there we go. Here's my audio.
Great, everybody can unmute and turn on and all that stuff. It's all fine. We'll just, I'm going to continue to let people in, and that way we'll see. Hi, Cara. So we can just kind of meet people for the first day and see, just check in and see how we're doing for the holiday. So it was hard for me to get back. I have to admit that that was a little bit of a struggle, but okay, we're here. And we're gonna survive. Anyway, it's especially after such a last week, which was so wild, right? I mean, unprecedented. So it was just really a difficult thing. And we'll just kind of go around the room. I recognize a lot of people, and then some people are brand new. And so we'll just say, oh, let's see. Why don't you say how long you've been at City College, and let me know. There's going to be a little sign where you're going to tell me your preferred name and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just kind of do introductions for a while. And then it's this is actually, it's going to be a hybrid synchronous asynchronous class, so that at this point it's not scheduled to go in person. But if there's that opportunity, like part of the way through last semester, I could do labs with people on campus. So that's kind of cool. But we'll mostly be on Zoom, and because of that, some people will choose to not participate in the Zoom lecture. But I have found in my experience that if you do participate, it makes it much easier to stay on top of your class. So that would be my recommendation, is to definitely come to the Zoom if you can. And I know it's a long class period. We'll have a break, but you have to, the class is going to be part lecture and part lab. And sometimes we'll do all lab, because when we talk through the course, you'll see all the different kinds of things that we'll do. And a lot of this you may have never done before, which is completely okay. So just let's go around. I've been here. I'm Pamela Shaw. I'm the instructor. I've been here since 2011. I came after a 25-year professional career as a costume designer. And the last two things I did before I came here were Vampire Diaries, and as an assistant designer, and The Artist, which won the Academy Award for costume design and for Best Picture. And I was the assistant costume designer on that, which is a fairly exciting thing to be part of. I had taught before. I went to LA to work for 25 years. And I came back up here because I was suddenly a single parent with 4 kids, and I couldn't be somewhere where my kids couldn't find me. They were young, they didn't drive, and they needed to know how to get to me. And when you're working in Hollywood, that can be 30 miles from wherever the office is. So that could be anywhere. And that was too hard. So anyway, it's been great returning to teaching, and it's a lot of fun. And if you are interested in costume, you'll learn a lot about how it actually works instead of just how theoretically it works. So enough about me. Who wants to go next? Diego, you were first signing on. I'll call it.
All right. I've been at City College since 2017. My theater's major, and taking this class as part of my major. It's required in my major, and my interest is acting. And I'm taking this class also because I'm interested in how the costume works. How it's kind of, because I've been told it's an important part of the character, the story, the script, and everything. And
And didn't you have to wear a costume in the One Acts once?
I've been in productions, not in City College, but like in like around Ventura, the Ventura area.
Right.
And you know, obviously I did wear costumes, and we did have to figure out what like our characters should be wearing. And that was pretty interesting, you know. It is. And what else? So 2017 theater major, done a few productions in Ventura College. One of them was called Stand and Deliver, based on the movie.
Yeah. That's exciting. That's exciting. Do I have a volunteer to go next? Wait, Josephine, did you raise your hand? Cassandra, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I transferred from SBCC. So my last quarter I spent at UCSB. And I just decided that I want to take a break from UCSB just because I was pursuing a major and I was on track to graduate in the spring, but I kind of with coronavirus wanted to shift my like focus and start like with something interesting and a little different. So I've always been interested in theater, and I thought costume design would be a really interesting course for me to pursue. Just like learning and doing something different from like UCSB. So I transferred from SBCC, so I'm familiar with SBCC, but I'm kind of new to the whole Zoom environment, especially a CC. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this class.
Good. What were you going to graduate in?
I actually was going to graduate in film and media studies, but I just like decided that it was more of a, like we did a lot more just analysis, and we would write on like film analysis and do a lot of that stuff. And I kind of just wanted to shift a little bit. And even though theater and film are very connected, I thought costume design, especially like sketching, could be more hands-on and something I'd really appreciate creatively.
I know film and media studies isn't really hands-on. If you're in production, you would be hands-on.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, cool. How about Sam Green?
I've been at SBCC 2 years now, and I'm hoping to transfer to PACE in New York next year. My interview is, I think, tomorrow, actually.
I was going to say, you had your application in already.
I have to go through a personalized interview before the start of my program. And then I've just been mainly working during the pandemic. I'm currently a manager at McConnell's Fine Ice Cream, which is a place in Santa Barbara that's pretty local.
It's really good. That's a special treat at my house. Excellent. Well, good job that you have been able to keep employed. Sue, you want to go?
Okay. I've been going to City College. I just worked it out today, 36 years, okay? I have
good job. You get the ticket.
Get the ticket. This will be my third AA that I'm going for in acting. And I kind of got into acting because I was writing a play in my creative writing class. And I thought, well, why not go to the other side of it, you know, and do some acting.
That sounds fun.
And I hope to graduate next semester.
In the fall, end of fall or summer.
End of fall.
Excellent.
Yeah, I hope so. And then I want to travel. That's my ambition, if we can, you know.
That would be great.
If nowadays.
I just heard that they're going to switch Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles from a COVID testing place to a vaccine place where you can get your vaccine. So they should be able to process a lot more people. And they were talking about, what did he say? Like a lot, like 100,000 people a day is what Newsom wants to do in LA. And then I heard on the radio down here that they're starting the vaccine distribution down here in Santa Barbara. So that'll be interesting. It's got to, we've got to really start paying attention to that stuff. Okay, Bailey. Oh, you're muted. There, now you're not. Let's see if we can hear you. Maybe your volume's down. Oh, wait, now we're getting something. Oh. Now, let's see, try talking. Okay, we'll come back, okay? Just one of those things, you guys. It's like, it's, you know, when I'm talking to my sister on the cell phone and the call drops, it's like, it's just what happens. You can't be worried about the things that are just going to happen. So.
Can you hear me if I take my AirPods out?
Perfect. You
Oh,
were
okay. Well,
all good now.
I will use this.
Was it because you
well,
had your
hi.
earbuds plugged into the computer?
No, they're wireless. They were working earlier. I'm not sure why they were being weird, but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've thought about that. Oh, well, great. See, good thing. Bailey, you want to go?
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Bailey. This is my second semester at SVCC. And I'm just taking this. This is recommended by my counselor because I want to go into like the fashion industry. I don't have like a set major or anything yet, but I know I want to do something involving like fashion and like designing and stuff. So yeah.
Sorry if I look down, I take notes. Really old school. I'm taking them here instead of typing them on my screen, on another screen. So, okay, Stephanie. I'm just picking random. Sorry.
All right. All right. Hi.
Hi.
So I'm Stephanie. Stephanie Brown, and my major is theater, and I'm also majoring in acting. And this class was also recommended by my counselor, but I had a couple choices, and I picked this one because my mom and my grandmother are really great seamstresses. And so I've been around sewing and designing a lot in my life, and I've always enjoyed observing them. So I thought maybe I should try doing it too. I'm actually from Illinois, and I just moved here in July. And during the pandemic, I haven't really done much, but I've been trying my best to explore as much as I can of Santa Barbara with everything being closed. So I've gone on a lot of hikes. I've gotten in the mountains.
And you don't have to wear your mask so much. Here's my mask.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots of nature and journaling.
Are you living alone or do you have some pals?
My dad actually lives in California,
good.
so I was lucky enough to be able to not pay for rent and just live with him.
I know, I think it's really important to have a few quarantine, you know, to create your own little quarantine pod. I have 2 kids, so I have them in my pod, and I have 2 friends and one, I have 3 other people. Like, that's my pod. That's it.
Yeah.
I go to the grocery store with
Yep.
my mask on. I come home, hand sanitizer in my car, in my office, doing everything. So
yeah. Well, I've got a twin sister here as well, and she's also going to SBCC. So
and does she live with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So you have a really good pod.
Yeah, we've got a nice little circle going.
Sorry, my pencil dropped on the floor and then my light turned off. So that's why I was going, I'm trying to find it, you know, it's like, we have no hidden things anymore. Everyone gets to see everything that you do, but I don't have my pajamas on. See, I'm just letting you know.
Oh, I can't relate.
So
I do.
Okay. It's okay if you have your pajamas on. I actually put on lipstick and I put on jewelry. So there you go. Okay. Who wants to go next? I'll take a volunteer. No volunteers? Hey, do you guys know how to do all the symbols on Zoom? You know, on the participant screen, you can say yes or no. You can do your reactions. Do you guys know all about that? Anybody not know about that? You don't know about that. Okay, let's do that, you guys. Very important. So at the bottom of your screens, you should have sort of a little toolbar. I'm not sure exactly what you have because mine is somewhat different, but you should be able to have a reaction button. And so if I have it, I have choices like if you look at my screen, I can clap, I can give a thumbs up. Can you guys find that? I can love something. There you go. I can, what is this emoji, you guys? Is it laughing so hard you're crying?
Yeah.
Or it's sort of like, ah! I like to make, to see if I can make my face the face of the emoji, right? Okay, my eyes were doing that this morning though. Okay, so there's a lot, that's what we want to do. Party. Okay, then you have, you're going to be able to go into breakout rooms. You guys see that? I'm just going to see if I can, I'll see if I can, I'm going to just do that for a second so you can see that. I'm just going to open your rooms and you'll go to breakout rooms and then come right back, okay? If you haven't done that, you'll see you're invited to a room and then you'll go. Okay, Martha, did you see how it works? Good job. Stephanie, did you see how it works? Did you are invited to room 2.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. Martha, are you frozen? Oh, she might be frozen. Great. So everybody went and came back like, see, you can fly. That's what I love about that. Let's see if we lost anybody. Okay, let me see. I'm going to go to the rooms and I'll have everybody, I'm just going to close them. There we go. They'll close in 60 seconds. So that's how that works. We will use that. I'll wait till everybody gets back. Okay, so we'll use breakout rooms so that, I'm waiting for Diego. Where are you? He'll get kicked out in a second and have to come back. But we'll use that when we want to do individual things or if we're working on a lab. And then I can work with smaller groups. I can make as many groups as I want. I can pre-assign you. And also I'm going to have you work in groups. So just so you know, we'll work in groups sometimes in class, and then you can work in groups outside of class and I can set those up on Canvas so that only your group is invited to work together. How many of you have done that before? Good. Okay, great. So, you know, I always think it's really good to double check on everything because there are a lot of technical things that go along with a class like this. It's not that you can just walk in the door, which is easy, but there are ways that we can work together. And one of the ways is I can set up groups, and you will actually be working on a historical project in a group, a very small group of 2. You'll work on other projects where you do different kinds of things, and I'll set it up and you guys can meet outside of our class and only your group will be invited. And then you can also meet inside of our class. And how many of you have hosted your own Zoom sessions? Okay, you know that you can absolutely go on to zoom.us and just open up a session and it's free. And for 45 minutes, you guys can have any kind of session. If you look at the bottom of your screen, when you're hosting, you have participants. And if you go to the participants page, you can invite people right from there. So we'll talk through all that kind of stuff too, so that you know how to do that. Clement, are you excited about that? You're muted. Yeah, great. Okay, so then the other thing is over on the right-hand side, if you're looking at your participant screen, you can create a yes, and I'm going to put mine up so that you can see a check mark, or you can do a no. And then also you can chat. Okay. So everybody sees the chat. And wait, where's Kit? Is she on her way? Oh, you're back. Okay, good. Sorry, I just saw your chat. Little slow on the uptake. I'm not doing Twitter and online at the same time. Okay. So very good. We'll review things on Zoom just to make sure everybody knows how to access everything. And then, all right, who wants to go? Kit, how about you want to go next?
Sure. Well, my name is Kit. I'm 20. I chose musical theater because it's my passion, and in order to get to that degree, I need to take different technical classes. And I also really love art. It's one of my hobbies that helps me de-stress.
Yay.
And one of my friends recommended this class specifically because they did a lot of drawing in this.
A lot of drawing. Who was that?
Dylan Nipker.
Oh yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, are you in the musical theater class tomorrow? That's starting in 2 weeks.
I am not. I didn't even know.
Oh, you should sign up. You can sign up for it. So I have a musical theater class, PA 106, and it is the development of musical theater.
Oh, I was going to sign up for that, but then I was told by my counselor through the assist program where like a transfer agreement and all that.
Right.
That for some reason it doesn't count towards working towards my major. I have to get development of
theater appreciation.
Yeah, and it's there's all these different ones where it's like development of drama, but it doesn't include musical theater. And I tried to reach out to them and they said
Really?
no.
Okay, because I think it does, but let me check on that.
So it's a weird situation. I was confused about that too, because I mean, musical theater major, shouldn't I learn about the development of musical
Well,
theater?
I know the class does transfer. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. It
And,
transfers. It's just, it doesn't work towards
does it
transfer
actually
agreement.
work towards a major at, where are you thinking of transferring, UC or CSU?
It's a UC.
Okay. All right, I'll check, because they're probably talking about 103, which is theater appreciation, which is a general class that everybody takes. But for majors, they want you to take development of drama 1 and 2, which would be Greek to Renaissance and then Renaissance to contemporary. So
Yeah,
that's probably what that counselor is talking about. But this should actually, this class should, if nothing else, count as one of the electives that you would want to take as a musical theater major. But let me just check on that. I'll just make a note.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Somebody really excited in musical theater. That's cool. That's how I got into theater. That is actually how I got into theater as a singer. So Colby, you want to go next?
Yeah. What are you asking of me? My name and major?
You mean since you came late?
Yeah. I was late to something in my own house, which is, anyway, I had to shave to get ready for the class.
Excellent.
And I wanted to do it really close and nice, so I took a little extra time.
But we need a little more light on your face.
Okay, let's see. Might as well show off.
So Colby was in my makeup class online last semester, and so was Tara. So he knows all about how to make himself look good on camera.
So my name is Colby Noakes. I'm an acting major. And this is my second semester doing all Zoom. Actually, Ben Kropp has a woodworking class, stagecraft class. And I'm supposed to go tomorrow morning at 9, so.
I think he's going to give you something though. I don't know that.
Okay.
Because
so anyway,
technically, you're not on campus.
Okay, so maybe or maybe not I have a class tomorrow in person, but either way, I'm happy to be here or wherever here is.
So Colby and Sue were both in our production last fall of Antigone. You may have seen their faces if you saw that show. Kit, were you in it? Was anybody else in it? And I just didn't remember because I thought I remembered everybody. So that was pretty, how many of you saw that show? The Zoom Antigone? was kind of interesting. I loved the way it was presented. I just thought that was very interesting because it made it look much less like a Zoom show. But anyway, and then we did Looking Back, Looking Forward last semester also, which was filmed in person on the Garvin stage. And we're actually going to be doing another production, but a filmed radio play. So I will let you know as soon as we get that approval of the script. We have one we're trying to get approval on, and that will be very exciting because we'll have live sound effects, we'll have filming, we'll have them walking up to a microphone, and it will be, we actually did this in the Jerkowitz Theater. It was called It's a Wonderful Life, a radio play, where the audience was in person and then saw that radio play. Martha, did you see that? I think that was this fall you were here.
What film was it?
It was called It's a Wonderful Life, a radio play, and it was kind of Christmassy.
No, I don't think I saw it.
Okay, it was in the Jerkowitz. So anyway, now we'll do a filmed radio play that will then be presented in the video format. So I'll let you know as soon as we do. Martha, do you want to go next?
Yes.
Great.
My name is Martha Ceballos. I think it's my second year at CC. I was majoring in filming and directing, but I think I kind of just want to switch my major, and I'm kind of like still browsing and looking for like what I want to major in.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, Clement.
Oh, hi. My name is Clement, and it's my first year in SBCC. My major is TA acting, and yeah, I'm really happy here.
And so Clement, sorry, I was saying.
It's okay. It's pronounced Clement in French. I know that.
The Clement was one of our Sarah Smith winners for scholarship. We have we have actually a wide variety of scholarships, and in the fall is the $1,000 award scholarship. So everyone should be thinking about applying for that next fall, because generally there's a very good ratio of applicants to scholarships awarded. Like sometimes there's 11 scholarships awarded and only 30 applicants. So you'll want to keep your eye out for that. Everyone could use that extra $1,000. We also have a technical scholarship, and from the Rotary Club of Montecito, that's I think 1,200 this year. So we do have some other scholarships that are available, and that would be something that you'd want to think about.
Yes.
So that Clement was in one of our Sarah Smith scholarships. It was very interesting because he did Blanche from Streetcar Named Desire, and people were invited to come and watch the final presentation. So that was very fun.
Thank you.
Cara, give us your deets.
I've returned to City College after several attempts in previous years. So this is technically my first year. I mean, August was my first semester. I'm majoring in theater arts, costume, and makeup, and hoping to transfer to get my BA eventually. And that's about it.
That's not it. You're a professional makeup artist.
I used to be. I don't feel like that anymore, but.
Well, in our new weird, nothing in person climate.
Yeah. Yeah. So I am a professional makeup artist, and I've dabbled a little bit in costumes and wardrobe, and kind of done a little bit of everything. So.
A lot of fun to have Cara in class, because it's great to have people with all range of experience. So from zero to very, it's really great. And for those of you who are interested in fashion design, I will have a fashion designer come as a guest speaker a couple of times this semester. And that will be fun to have her be on Q&A for us. Okay, Josephine, or how do you say your name?
Yeah, me, Josephine.
Josephine, okay.
Well, this is my first year and first semester in SPCC. I took this class because I thought it was interesting to like get to know women, all that kind of stuff. My goal is to be an actor after I attend to these classes. And I'm also very nervous because I'm not really good at English. So
You're doing amazingly well. What is your first language?
Swedish.
And do you have more than English and Swedish?
No.
How many of you have another language as your first language other than English? Raise your hand. Yeah, yeah. So you know what? You're doing really well. And Clement has Clement, you're Chinese, right? Which are you, Mandarin or?
Oh, I can speak both.
So two dialects of Chinese and English, and what else?
That's all, I think.
Wow, excellent. Okay. So, you know, you're not alone. And please, and by the way, just so that you know, I adopted 4 kids that were Polish and didn't speak any English. So I'm used to explaining things. And if you don't understand, if anybody doesn't understand, probably someone else doesn't understand also. So please let us know. And then I'll happily, you know, try to use a word that is a more clear. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's, I didn't leave anyone out, did I? Okay, there's a few people that didn't show up, so they'll have to really watch a boring recording now, but let me go to screen share and we'll go to our Canvas site. I know it wasn't up till last night, but let's just go there and see how we can. Let me just make sure what I have up behind here so that we're looking at it. Okay. So that we don't just look at the Zoom page. Oh, here, this would be fun. Let me do this first. I'm going to show you this. This is what I see. Are you guys putting everybody on gallery so you can see everybody? That's kind of fun. All right. And then let me go back to this and we'll go to where I was going to go in the beginning. All right, this is my home page. If you have been in a class before, you know that I always start with the land acknowledgement. And can everybody see this on your screen well enough? Is it big enough? Do I need to try and make it bigger? You can also make it bigger if you go up to the top of your screen and you can control what you see. Can everyone see how to do that to make your own screen bigger? So does anyone need help? Everybody's good. Okay, perfect. So if you will, one thing that might make it easier is if you hide your video view, then we can maybe see this more clearly, and I'll do the same. And then I'll hide. So if you hide your video view, can everyone do that? If you go to the 3 dots in the top of your screen, you can select stop my video, or sometimes you can select it down at the bottom of your screen as well. Let me know if you're having trouble finding how to select that. So there may be 3 dots in the top of your screen. Mine are on the right-hand side. If you click the 3 dots, you can just select stop video. Can you see that? Okay. And then we have you have a better availability to actually see the whole screen. Does everybody have that? Okay, excellent. So the land acknowledgement, before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the Chumash people, who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to the Chumash elders, past, present, and future, who call this place the land that Santa Barbara City College sits upon, their home. We are honored to be guests on this land and are proud to continue their tradition of coming together and growing as a community. We thank the Chumash community for their stewardship and support, and we look forward to strengthening our ties as we continue our relationship of mutual respect. So all of this area that you see on the top, which is West Campus, you see our West Campus Theater building here, and my office, which is over here, was Chumash. And I'm actually not wearing Chumash, I'm wearing Navajo. Navajo turquoise from the Navajo Nation, and silver, which is a very traditional jewelry style. So here are some resources at SBCC. It's really worth it for you to go and see. It gives us updates on all the COVID-19 and operations. Food Share is the first Wednesday of the month on West Campus. You can come. If you have to walk, you may do that. If you drive your car, they will send out an email to you. It's usually after 2 o'clock, and you can pick up a box of food. It can be fresh, vegetables, fruits, dried stuff, everything. The academic counselor for theater, and she's dedicated to theater and music and a couple other things, is Carmen Rivero. So here is her email. You can make an appointment. You have health services with your health fee, and that includes mental health, nurse, if you are ill. If we're on campus, you actually can go over there, but you can call and get a consultation as well. So I am excited that you chose class in theater. Here's an example of a costume illustration. So those of you who like to draw are thinking, yeah, this is very cool. If you are not an artist, don't worry about that. You'll be working on creating your own costume illustrations and style based on characters from a play script. So don't let that scare you. And this is a very accomplished theater artist. You can see just the frame of the board here. And when you're on your own screen, you'll be able to see that. This is a 1920s simplified diagonal, low-waisted silhouette with a kick pleat skirt. Don't be afraid, because I was terrified in my first costume design class. I was terrified. And I thought that you can read all this stuff, but I actually thought that costume design was what I had no idea I was going to have to draw. And I was not an artist, and stick figures were my forte. So that was very scary to me. And the first class that I was in, that the instructor was an artist, and he sent us home on Monday and he said, okay, you need to draw 5 hands, 5 feet, and 5, what else? There was one of the things. Maybe it was 5 hands and 5 feet the first time. Then you had to draw 5 nude women. I'm thinking, how am I going to find nude women? And I had to look in books. I mean, it was insane. I just was like, yowza. Anyway, there's a lot of ways besides individuals. You can do a group drawing. Here's the way for our Zoom link, but our Zoom link is also on the side of our navigation. This is our class time, 9:35 to 11:55. We'll take a break. We'll have at least, usually more than an hour of lab in there as well for you to work. I will have Zoom office hours after my afternoon class, so from 3 to 4, or by appointment on Zoom. Just send me an email and I'm happy to meet you on Zoom. And here's a very typical thing. Costume designers know a lot about KEDs, and you may not know this, but vans were invented in Los Angeles, and we used to be able to take our fabric down and they'd make vans in the fabric that we wanted to match our costumes. It's really cool. Here's a corset. In an advanced costume class, you'd learn to make a corset. This is boning down the front, and then this is grommeted so that it would have lacing up the back. So here's some navigation tips, which I'm not sure if these work. So let's try course resources. Is everybody still with me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I know it's hard. And it's anyone having a problem seeing the screen. And if I'm going too fast or I'm making you seasick because it's rolling, let me know. So the writing center is very important. You'll be doing 2 play critiques and we'll pick them offline or online. And if you, plays at City College, you'll be able to see for free in very specific and restricted timeframes, but you'll have to still get a ticket. And the Writing Center will help you do everything. It's online. It's wonderful. You can meet things. Also, there's also a Zoom help for students. So if you ever need help with Zoom or other technical things, you can always get help there. They've been very helpful for me. So I wanted to give you a few more pieces of information. You can visit the Costume Designers Guild magazine. And this is the website of the Costume Designers Guild magazine. And I have a copy here to show you. And the Costume Designers Guild is another thing that you might be interested in. Also, that's the Costume Designers Guild is the union for film costume design based out of Los Angeles. So if you're based out of New York, you're actually part of this organization, which is United Scenic Artists Local 829, and they represent all theaters nationally, and they represent film designers in New York. So that's one very interesting thing. I'm the chairperson of the Western Region area for United Scenic Artists out of Southern California area. And this is the IA 764 is live performance wardrobe union handles backstage. So if you go see any show at the Pantages, or if you're working a union house in Los Angeles, that you would be a part of that. If you work at a theme park, such as Universal, and you work behind the stage at one of those shows, they also are union organized. Motion picture costumers. So at some point, click on these links and they will be very interesting. Motion picture costumers, local 705 for costume, which is everybody basically that's not a costume designer, assistant costume designer, or illustrator in a movie. They work in all motion picture, which would be commercials, television, music videos, and whatever. And then Costume Society of America, they have student category. Anybody can join Costume Society of America. It's a wonderful way to get the breadth of what is costume all about. And that's a, when I went to the last, well, probably actually the last symposium that they had live was in Seattle in 2019. And there were people from Japan, Great Britain, and then all over the United States, as well as other countries. So it was really exciting to come together and meet everyone. Everyone from museum curators to people that are costume restorers. And when I said I'm a costume designer, they said, oh, you're a practitioner. So it's a wide variety. And that's why they call it dress, in capital dress, because dress means anything that has been worn. So that would be the historical portion of it. And then we take what has been worn and we look at the historical portion and make it our own. Local 706 is the website for the Makeup Artists and Hairstylists Guild. And then USITT. So I don't know how they're going to have a convention this year, but we can go on USITT and see that. OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health, is very important. So there's all these kinds of things. Let's see what this theater tour has. You guys can click on this. And it's a 10-minute thing. So it's a Garvin guided theater tour. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. There you all are. Okay. I just wanted to check in and make sure everyone, how is that viewing the screen? Is it okay? Because if so, I'm going to go to another portion of what we're going to do, and then we'll take a short break in about 15 minutes. Okay. All right. Thank you for those responses. Let me go back to, let's see, please let me know if we're going to go back to the same resource and see if I can go back to, okay, so please look at this on your own and check out these various websites, because that's the meat and potatoes of costume right there. Okay. This course will work in modules. So this is the navigation screen on the left side. Yours is going to look slightly different because some of them are removed for clarity. And we'll be posting discussions. You can see your grades. You can see other people are in the class. This is how I generate announcements. You should be able to come here and get on to the class from this Zoom link. And I can also send you an announcement each time. So let's look at the syllabus briefly. Oh, whoa, I'm on the wrong thing. Sorry. That is very weird. Let me go back. I thought, wait a minute, what am I looking at? Okay. So now we should go to the right syllabus. There we go. We're looking at Venom. It's really interesting. I'll show you a costume rendering that I did, and it has a creature kind of like this, but it was done years before Venom was ever invented. Venom is a Stan Winston creature, if you guys know who that is, and he was in one of the superhero. Is it Spider-Man? You guys, is it Spider-Man or Green Lantern? It's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a close-up of the costume. It's pretty cool. So this is an inclusive environment, and this is my inclusivity statement that I wrote. It's my goal that this class is a safe place and offers freedom of expression. And I got to tell you, this freedom of expression is really important, because in theater, all you have is yourself. So I want you to reflect on that and feel if at any time you are feeling insecure, you want to speak to me privately. I encourage you to meet with me and bring in your own cultural heritage. We have a wide variety in our class. I'm very excited about that. And we have a wide variety of genders, whatever your status is. And all of that is so important for the stories that we tell. And we will be respectful of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, disability, age, veteran status, citizenship status, socioeconomic status, religion, and whatever your past history is. So I come with my own perspective from the way that I was raised, obviously a white ancient female. So, you know, I have to recognize that that's part of my specific bias. But each person is part of the mosaic that collectively we are building together to create a community. And that's the most important thing, especially with pandemic and this bizarre way of seeing things, which is not how we usually do. And we don't get to interface with others. Really important that we build community in a safe way. So if there's anything that I can do, or if you feel unsafe or your learning is adversely affected by an outside experience, please let me know. Costume design is a field with many, many directions and variables, like outrageous, practical, fanciful, and yet organized. There are no absolutes in costume design. That's why it's so important to find your own voice and bring it to the table. How about that quote from Robin Williams? That's a guy that really tried to find his own voice. Strive to find your own voice. The longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. Or to find it all. You want to have it all. Accommodations for students with disabilities. I welcome any student in this class. So we want to work with whatever way we can meet your needs best. So make sure you allow enough time to for me to adequately provide you with accommodations for things like quizzes and tests. And generally we have quite a lot of time. So I tend to offer more time than necessary. There's nothing that's done on a huge deadline except due dates, but quizzes and that sort of thing is not. Okay, student learning outcomes. We have 3 in this class. Let's go to that. I'm going to just scroll up so we can be on this page. Would someone like to read them? I'll take a volunteer. You can just.
I'll go.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So just all the student learning outcomes.
Yes. Perfect.
All right. Number 1, demonstrate basic proficiency in developing a costume design for selected play or plays from initial interpretation and conceptualization to a completed design. Number 2, complete drawings and renderings that represent those ideas in a visual form. Number 3, give an oral presentation and critical defense of the design.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about those for a second. And then I'm going to show you the textbooks and I'm going to talk about supplies. So I'm going to stop share. And if you guys would let's see, what do we call it? Start video. Like unmute, but start your video. Okay, so what do you think that means? I'll read them again. Demonstrate basic proficiency in developing a costume design from initial interpretation and conceptualization to a completed design. Okay, sounds like gobbledygook, doesn't it? I have to say I didn't actually write that. It's on the course. You know, we have the course of record and you actually have to, you're supposed to teach to those student learning outcomes that have been designed for the course of record. And then if you want to change them, you have to do a course modification. So, okay. Anybody want to take a stab? Well, it's basically what you're here for, right?
To learn like the basics, or at least try to learn the basics.
Yeah. And demonstrate basic proficiency. So everybody's going to get good at it. You're going to be able to accomplish this. This is what is very exciting. If I can go from stick figures and have a career, you know, everybody can do it. We'll work with the play, and I have just written play 1 and play 2, and I know what play 3 is going to be. But I'd like to incorporate one of these plays that we're going to work on in this semester. We have actually 2 opportunities. One will be the radio play, and then the other thing is we're going to do something called Santa Barbara City College Stories. So you'll be able to submit a written monologue or a story of yourself that then will be designed into a performance. But I'd like to think about the beginning one because it will be set in 1940s, which would be a really fun period to look at because it's very specific. So, excuse me. So we'll look at how do you interpret a play? What does script analysis look like? How do you find where you want to go with that play? What are the characters about? And how can we do an overall picture? I'm going to show you some ideas about that. To a completed design, which would be costume renderings, which are like the ones that I showed you. So then you will do drawings and renderings. So drawings would be things without color, renderings would be things with color and possibly with swatches that represent those ideas. So that would create a visual form. and give an oral presentation and critical defense of your design. So you're going to tell me why you did it, and everyone else, like, this is what I did, this is why I did it this way, this is how it's best going to illustrate those characters. So I'm going to give you some examples of, you know, here's one way that you can do a description of things. And this would be, you know, a lot of people would say this is a mood board, right? And this was a series of boards that were very specifically designed to, that shouldn't be on there. There we go. That were very specifically designed to tell the whole story of the play. So when we put these 5 together, the director could look at this and we could say, this is the opening scene. This is the next scene. This is obviously the party scene. You can see here's the Maids Costumes. They really set the whole community there. So it's a very big, what I would say representational, because you're seeing a lot of figures with actual fabric swatches. So this is for high society. This is the play, and this is the big party scene, okay? One of the ways that you can do an initial response is to just do a collage. And this is an old fashioned where you cut up magazines and you put them together to create color, and tells you the story of the play in one way. And they can be a wide variety of things. So this one, I'm trying to have you not get that glare. This one has, you know, a warmth at the center of the play, and it goes, looks like in a circular pattern to cool, and maybe just a little bit of conflict over here. This is a lot more passionate. It actually sort of looks like an interior design thing right now, but up close, it doesn't look like that at all. So, you know, this is a response, a visual response to a play. You can do these things either old school like this. This one I'm going to talk about for a second. You can do them old school like this, or you can do them virtually by using something like Keynote, layering up, grabbing images off of the internet, sticking them together, layering them, and then submitting them that way. If you want to work this way, you can take a photograph of it and upload it. Doesn't matter. You know, any way that you can get the material across. So this is Mad Woman of Chaillot. I had to remember the name of the play. And interestingly, so it's French, and you can see the remnants of the French flag here. This is a hand, it's holding the whole world. And the actual, one of the most important characters, and the reason why it's holding the whole world, is because the sewer man, everything goes down the sewer, is the one that really is the protagonist in this play. So this is a conceptualization of the idea of the play, okay? And this just happens to be done with magazine tear sheets. This is part newsprint, part other things all put together. So that's one of the visual processes that we will learn about. You'll also do renderings. This is a small portfolio. You don't have to have one like that. You can just have, you don't have to have a portfolio at all. So this is one of the, okay, so this is one of my claims to fame. And I worked on the very first Energizer Bunny. The very first one. There I am, 14. No. And we made him an astronaut. We did all kinds of things to make costumes for him. So this is actually in my portfolio, along with, you know, here's a Julius Caesar, and here's some, pictures of how they looked. This is a Scandal. It's not the TV show Scandal. It's the Moliere Scandal. So you can see there's a costume rendering. And I like swatches, which are pieces of fabric that indicate how the costume would be revealed. And you can see that it kind of is in the same order. Let me get them out. That's sort of, things will fall away if I do that, Pam. So anyway, it's in the same order as his clothing, right? So you can see there's a slightly plaid vest. The rest of him fell down. There we go. So that you can see his whole look. And then even something like I was hired to do a big Christmas parade for Universal Studios for City Walk. So we had, this is called, we did the Jack in the Present box. We did Stilt Walkers, these guys. Oh no, that was the drummers. We had Stilt Walkers too that were somewhat similar. So they were on stilts. We did reindeer. And I actually have a couple pictures of those. I'll show you something. And we did the dancing fairies, you know, it's like really, really traditional. But I want to show you a couple of pictures. I happen to have them right here. Here's when we were working on the reindeer. And here they are in, why am I getting so much reflection? Let me see if I can just move this a little bit. There's the drummers on the parade. And so one of the things that's great about this is when you look at this and then you look at the picture of it, do they look like what you drew, right? So that's kind of a cool thing. And then, you know, the next year they took this parade to the Hollywood parade. So then everybody was in the Hollywood parade, and then they ran that parade for 5 years. I thought, and they paid me once. Okay, let me see. A more traditional look would be something like this, which is a show called Cloud 9. And that would be a standard look with characters that you can see, very, very typical. So there's multiple characters. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about drawings and renderings, is that those would, now I'm attached to my portfolio. Okay. So those are drawings and renderings. Okay, trust me, I started out with stick figures, so please don't worry about that. And then give an oral presentation and critical defense of the design. You can create however you want to do that. If you feel more comfortable doing, you know, PowerPoint, we'll also work on collaged design where you actually cut and paste or create cut images of figures and put them together to create a design. So I don't want you to be scared, because I was terrified. So it's okay if you are, because I was. I understand that completely. And I still am. Every single time I feel like I've never done it before and I'm probably going to be a giant failure. So I feel your pain. And that's why I think I understand it. We're going to just talk about the textbooks quickly and then take a break. So let me just show you this. This is the required textbook, the Costume Designer's Handbook, and it's listed on your Canvas page. It's also listed in the bookstore. And if you go to If you go to the schedule of courses and you click on the CRN, it'll list everything that's there, and you can actually order it from that thing, from the schedule of classes. But this is a great handbook. It's a you know, get whatever you can get, an old version, a new version, it doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same. Very well organized. We're going to read it all. There's some color pages in it with color renderings for you to look at. And it gives you the whole process of costume design, plus some great annotated bibliography stuff in the back. This book, Costume and Fashion, is what I consider by James Laver to be one of the better historical books, because it gives you some good color pictures to look at and work from, so that you know what you're looking at. Because when you go to the internet to research a historical figure, you're never quite sure if you're actually getting it. And so this gives you something against which you can look at and say, oh yeah, that really is Greek. Oh no, that's Roman. Or people post things and say what they are, and then they're totally wrong. And it's you know, so the internet is suspect, because anybody could be anything. It's like I tell, you know, I could be the Queen of England. But yes, I could put on that accent, Sue smiling. But anyway, there's wonderful actual historical images that were contemporary to the period in which they're representing. So you're looking at a first primary research instead of what someone else's interpretation of the period is, and instead of what someone is putting on the internet. So when we get to contemporary, you're going to see photographs of things. So there's both color and black and white pictures. And we will use this book as research, and you will be doing redrawings from this. This is how you're going to start learning your vocabulary and your style lines. And we're going to talk about that, and I'll have a whole page up. So no panic anywhere yet, okay? And this is the third book, which I think is fabulous. It's a optional, but it's called Character Costume Figure Drawing. And it breaks down creating figures. Look at those stick figures, you guys. How you can do stick figures, where the weight of the body is, filling that in, and then creating a look around it. And it does that for every time period. It does it for faces. I know a lot of costume designers that never do a face. They just, you know, they just do a circle, an oval. But, you know, it talks about how to create a line of drawing, how to, let me just do it. I want to show you a period shape. So, you know, starting with block figure into putting the muscles on it. So it's a really great step-by-step drawing method for theater costume designers. And in, I know it's very popular to use SketchUp or some other kind of drawing thing, which will be okay for part of this class. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with drawing. We're going to actually draw hand to pencil. And all of the redrawings that you do will be based on hand to pencil, and you can use, the reason why I want you to have that Costume and Fashion is it's not very expensive. Like, it's not $100. And it will let you be able to tell this is the actual historic representation of this period, okay? So, you know, for me, this is just historical costume right here. Not talking about, you know, ornament, umbrellas, jewelry, needlework, tartan and plaid, but you at least have one good reference that says this is something against which I can test, okay? Let's take 15 and jump up and down, get your energy going, and we'll come back and we'll finish up. I'm going to talk about the first assignment. We're going to go through how we can do that so that you learn how to upload. See you at 11 o'clock.
Thank you.
So we'll just take a little break. to unmute twice. Must be a real loudmouth. Okay. Now we're going to talk now about supplies. That's also listed on the same page where we were, which is in the syllabus page. And then we're going to go to the first module. And this will then give you something to do until Wednesday. So I want to talk about supplies a little bit though.
I just had a quick question.
Yes, good.
About the books
Yeah.
that you told us about. Do I need to have them like in person, or is it like, can I get them online? Or
Yeah.
I can
And
get them
you can rent them. You can do all kinds of things.
okay.
You don't have to actually be touching them. So, you know, in days gone by, when I was a student, I did all my reading at the library. I couldn't afford to buy the books, so I just, you know, did everything there. But anyway, yeah, you don't need to have them in person. You may, in order to do a redrawing, you'll have to decide how you can look at something and draw it, but you can certainly do that online.
Okay.
So I've done that plenty of times, so no worries.
Okay.
Any other questions so far? No questions.
Are the books available digitally? Like, is there a digital version of the book? Like,
You know what? I guess that's a bookstore thing, right? I don't know. We can look them up. I haven't. I'm sorry that I guess I'm a little remiss. What I do is I put in my request, you know, the bookstore says, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't care how they do it. Here's the title. And I thought, let me just go online and just check this out for a second. That's a good question. Let's see. Did you guys go to, I'm going to try this schedule of classes 2021. And then if you click on the CRN, it gives you the book and it takes you to the bookstore. So let me just see if it tells me how I can get the book. Otherwise, you can search online for anything used. So let's see. It says, when I clicked on the CRN, it gives me textbook and course materials. It takes me to Express textbooks, displaying textbook, and I have an option for new used rental. Let me see if that's a digital. To me, a rental is a digital, I thought. So let's see. That looks like a rental. Looks like you could take it away for the semester and bring it back because it says must be returned by May 8th. Let me just go online and look for digital.
Because I currently did actually move from last year. I moved from Santa Barbara to Santa Paula. So
yeah. Well, some people are. You can also, I'm sure, get them off of the internet. I'm just going to go to digital just a second and see if I can. If I put in the ISBN number, that's the cleanest way to get the information. So let me just try that for a sec. Yeah, I understand. I don't live in Santa Barbara either, so.
I could still go down there and get them if
yeah.
can,
do you get and then of course if you get funding to buy books, then I'm not sure what they're doing as far as, do they mail them?
Yeah, they ship them.
Do they ship them? Oh, you would
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pay $8 for regular whenever it gets their shipping, or $20 for expedited.
Okay, let me just see.
I can get it mailed to me too. Yeah, that works too.
I'm just seeing if there's a digital price. I mean, if there's a digital available. I may have clicked on something bizarre. I don't think that's the right one. Okay, you know what? I'll write a note to check that out for you, Diego.
Okay.
And
All right. Thank you.
and also you can, I mean, feel free to go online and I can post the ISBN number if you want, but otherwise, yeah, it's not looking good for digital.
Okay. I'll see if I could get it mailed to me. So
Yeah. Oh, I just put in the ISBN number and I have it from, this textbook.
when's the deadline to have the textbook by? Because depending how long it
So
takes.
you guys, you know what?
yeah,
Next Monday's a holiday.
Okay.
Right? We don't have school a week from today. So you easily have 10 days. So don't panic about it. You're never going to get dinged for not having your book until it gets, till it's reasonable. So it looks like you can do anything from $28 to says super book deals, $50. This one's 60. Oh no, ships from Italy. Yeah, we don't need that one. Store like, we don't need that one. But anyway,
There's some sites like there's Chegg, which does a lot of rentals, and then there's also Slug Books, which compares everything. So it's like it has Amazon, it has Chegg. So it's on there for $1, I think is the cheapest one.
Yeah, so just and actually, you know what, what I'll do, this will be something kind of cool, is I can actually start a discussion group and just say, list where you find the books. If you want that kind of resource, you want me to do that? And that way it's a participation thing and you can get points for it. But if you post something and someone else posts for you in a response to you, and I'll list all the books. And plus there's some additional, I'm just making a note, sorry. There are some additional resource books that I'm going to put on the Canvas site too, so that you have them. But I feel like, let's collectively, let's find out where we can get them. So who said that? Was that about the 20? Thanks, Sam. I thought it might have been you. Perfect. Okay. So let's just briefly, because man, I've been talking a long time. Let's get over that. So drawing, you need a few pencils and some kind of sketchbook. Right now I'm using a green Crayola. There you go. That's what all my notes are in right now, because that's what I have. And here's my other option. But this idea of you have to have a certain kind of pencil. I worked with an amazing costume designer named Dorothy Jeekins. In fact, I have her image right here. She had 4 Academy Awards. They basically held up the door in her bathroom. And I saw her do things with ink pen that were incredible, so it's not like it's a special kind of thing that you need. A number 2 pencil is a little bit hard, but any pencil, just try them out and see what you have around the house. A sketchbook can be anything from, this is just a sketch pad. This is gigantic, but I will also post a site to look at things like that and make a couple recommendations. Sometimes people like to work on a little bit harder thing called a Bristol board. And this is, this gives you a little more, it's a little stiffer surface. So the reason why I go to a size like this is 14 by 11, which means that I could, but 14 by 17, which means I could cut it in half and I could get 2 renderings on here. So you don't want to work too small because you can't really see the details. And also people want to work small when they're afraid. So I want you to work kind of bigger. If you don't have a place to draw, we'll talk about finding a work spot. That would be good. You can always get a, you know, one of these. The first 7 years that I was working, I was lived on a boat. So I had one of these to do drawings on. And then sometimes you can do, oh, have some kind of bug crawling around, scary. And then when we start painting, you'll have to have it flat, because if we work with water or anything like that, you won't want it to go down your drawing. And also about painting, you can do something as simple as getting I'm trying to show you something, but I'm not seeing it. So hold on a sec. So I have a couple things like this that just have acrylic paints in them. That's a whole wide variety of stuff, you know, like this. And you can make those work like watercolors. Okay. But I was going to show you. Okay, I'm going to have to show you next time. I'll run down the hall. But you can get a little watercolor stack, which is a dry watercolor, and then just get a couple of good brushes. This is my brush thing right here. I'm going to look for the blue one. So, you know, you can get.
Which paints do you recommend?
Like this. You know what? You need a few brushes, like a flat one and a round one. I will show you. I don't know why it's not right here, because if you guys actually saw my office, you'd be terrified. I thought I had them right here, but I clearly don't. So I worked with this for a long time. That's a tiny little paint set. And what I did was, you know, I put my swatches of colors up there so I knew exactly what color I was going to get this is called a cake watercolor. It's water activated. We'll talk all about how to do that and how to do a wash. This is called, and it came with this teeny tiny brush because I could take it with me. So here's the brush. Right. Teeny tiny. But this was a great brush, and it's a natural bristle, and it fit inside of this little paint can. This is called, I don't know. I can't remember there's no sign on it. I've had it for decades. And it's got 12 colors. This one is called Van Gogh Super Fine. And this is the brush. And here's the paints. I'll show them to you. Just a sec. So it's similar. Now, one great thing is it has this little sponge so you can have water there. And here's, you know, just a small modicum of color. You really need red, blue, and yellow, black, and white. We're going to make a color wheel from that. So you must have that. And again, this came with a little brush, but I'll show you another. I'll show you another a stack that's very reasonable. So see, I carry things around in a baggie. Here's some watercolor paper that's just, you know, like that. Oh, I was making I was making a series of sketches because I can see I wrote somebody's name on that. So, you know, whatever you want. I will show you I'm going to direct you to a thing called the art store because it's pretty cheap and they ship and it's no big deal. You can use markers. You can use illustration board, acrylic paint. I gave you a lot of choices there. These are
Quick question, would we be able to, would you prefer it all to be like a physical art form, or would digital be acceptable?
digital will be acceptable for some.
Okay.
The first project we're going to do hand drawing and we're going to do hand painting. And then after that, you can do digital collection. But for those people who are more digitally acute and savvy, it gives you a huge advantage of not having to draw the body and put it on the page and all that kind of stuff, because, and that's totally fine. And I'll show you some great renderings. You know, a lot of photorealistic rendering stuff is happening right now. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And just know that where you are only evaluated by from where you start to where you end. There will be people of all way better artists than me in this class, and people who've never thought about picking up a pen, pencil or brush or anything. It's like the furthest thing from your mind. So you're not graded on looking at what, I'm not going to look at what someone else is doing. I'm looking at where you start and where you end. Okay. So yeah, if you're, it's probably a comfort level for many people to do digital, but we're going to do hand first, and then then we'll be able to branch out. The first thing is going to be a composite sketch anyhow. So this is a bunch of tubes of paint. So that doesn't come with a little cake, but it's still a tube of paint that has to get water put into it. And then these are some this is called Dr. Martin Watercolors. They're very saturated. They're really super fun. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but they come like this. And you buy one color and they're super saturated. So, you know, it's kind of like when in doubt, I just start putting more stuff on. And I'll even show you that I remember the first time when I saw that somebody had done glitter. So like anything goes, right? Totally can be fine. Okay. And then the other thing is fabric swatches. I showed you that one character. And I didn't describe him very well, but I put him back together and I looked at him and I thought, oh, maybe I should just tell you what it is. And you're going to be at a huge disadvantage because here we have boxes for you guys and they're categorized for you to swatch from. So think about how you can swatch. So this dude right here that fell apart, you know, here's his jacket, here's his vest, there's a shirt, there's his cravat, his pants, his plaid pants, and his tights. So everything was on there in the same format as the way he was dressed. And that just goes a lot to give your director a visualization. You can get swatches off the internet, by the way. You can, I'll actually give you a couple resources if you wanted to buy swatches, but you can also just pull swatches off. And then there's like this book has incredible swatches so that you could do prints and, you know, you can find stuff like this. And not that you would want to use this book, but that you will be able to find print and images of fabric online. And I'll send you to some fabric store sites where you can actually see them. Okay. Alrighty, we're going to do one more thing. I just want to make myself a note about art store.
So about the paint colors, you said which ones are the most important ones we need? Like
I will post a page.
Okay.
don't need to, you don't need to think about it right now. But yeah, you have to have the 3 primary colors. You have to have the 3 primary colors because those are colors from which no other color is made. And those are just like kids, red, yellow, blue. Got to have that. And then white and black. So other than, you can make everything from those 3 colors. But I'm going to go to, so that was all on your syllabus page. And we're going to go now to my favorite modules. So let's do a quick screen share and we're going to get out of here. Okay. Because this is your assignment. So here's your modules. When you go on to our site, here's 134. Can everyone see, first of all? You're okay with looking at this? Okay. So this is the navigation bar down the left-hand side. And you click on modules here. And this is the first thing that's going to come up. So between now and Wednesday, I'd like you to look at the course overview. And I'll just show it to you now. It tells why costume design. There's some great images. This is what we did in the artist, a lot of that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Pam is blah, blah, blahing. Course objectives, expectation. Here's the weekly outline. This is I would like you to read through it so you can kind of get a feel for it. We're going to introduce, here's what I should have done today, introduce you to Canvas, which you've seen some of, and what is costume design. And so here's how it's laid out by week in terms of topic. When there's a holiday, it's noted. We have another holiday in February, and then we have a 1-week spring break, which I'll write in there. And then these redrawings, which are going to be consistent. You will be doing redrawings every week. So you can take a look at that. There's the grading. And you can, in a module, you can either go back to the navigation bar to click on it, or at the bottom of this screen, sorry, close your eyes if this is going to make you seasick, you can click next. Okay. So the next thing in the module is, this is the student mandatory health screening. If you ever need to come to campus, you would have to fill this out. Not a bad idea to just look at it so that you know what to look for if you are possibly having Canvas. So here, COVID. So here's the first 2 things. Here's your Canvas student guide. There's a couple of places where that is. So if you've not worked on Canvas, here's how you have it. And everybody's online, so really good job on that. But if you need support, there are Chromebooks available at City College and hotspots for internet use. What browsers does Canvas support, and how can I use Canvas on my mobile device? I've had some very successful usage on mobile device. You can even go to Breakout Rooms. You can screen share, you can chat, you can do everything. So if you, don't tell anybody, but I have had Zoom calls in my car. So when because I have a bunch of meetings. So here's some tutorials. Please go through these about discussions, because now I'm going to post that one discussion about where to buy the books. We're going to have how you can submit things, how to upload your assignment file. Please go through these. It's really helpful to have this video support, how to take quizzes, and what the grades information is like, okay? These are really short, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So this is like 12 minutes of video watching. So do that. And this because you don't need to worry about getting all that other stuff. You need to worry about, first, let's talk about how we can make the class work, okay? So course resources, I think we already looked at that page. Remember, it was attached to the home page. That's where all those cool websites are. And then here's your first assignment. You're going to click on it. After you do all that, you're going to create a document that tells me your preferred name. You can actually change that at City College. The best way for me to reach you and what device you're going to use to access this class. Let me know if you have access to fabric swatches, because I might be able to make an arrangement. If you live in town, we actually have an outdoor patio, And we've used that as a place to hand off things. And also, I would not be opposed to creating some bags of stuff and getting them to you somehow. And then upload that document in Canvas. I'm giving you 5 points to do it. This is called an assignment up here. And here's your guidelines. Here's your student guides. And then it's available from early today till Saturday, but it's actually due on Friday at 11:59 p.m. So upload that this week, okay? And then Monday, we have a holiday. All righty, that was pretty fast, but all that stuff came from the left-hand side modules. And you only have one module to look at, not giving you anything else. I just want you to do this one first. All right, questions? Everybody want to get out of Dodge? You know that, do you know that saying?
Yeah.
That means just, yeah, take off. So if there's no questions, you can just sign off and start looking at some of those things on your own time. And I'm going to be here, it's 11. So we will actually usually go to 11:55, and we'll have, when we are doing a lab, you'll know in advance so you get your materials prepared, or we'll stop and take a break so you can get your materials prepared. I haven't talked about a workspace, but it might be it would be helpful if you could figure out a workspace so that you, when you are going to draw, you think, oh yeah, this is where I'm going to draw. Because if you end up laying on your bed and trying to draw, or the next time you're sitting in a chair, or the next time it's hard to be consistent with the product if you're not consistent with where you are. And I have found in my own personal life, with the lack of scheduling and stuff, that if I make myself sit in a certain place and then, you know, power through my computer stuff there and then do my other things, it's really helpful to locate. This gives your body physical memory. When I am in this place, I'm going to work. So that's kind of helpful. So start looking for an identifiable workspace for you for this class. It doesn't have to be for any other class, but for this class, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be looking at some research, you're going to be drawing, you're going to be drawing from research, you're going to be reading plays, and we'll be talking about historical costume. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, feel free to sign off. And then I'll try and get these discussions groups going.
Bye. See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Thanks for joining, everybody. Great to see you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna get my,
Bye.
I've lost my water bottle. Hey, Sue.